Kofa, G.R.O.W.T.H podcast. Wake your glass up. Happy Sunday evening, y'all. I hope you had a great weekend. Hope you're closing out with a great weekend. Peace to Corey Joe. He already dropped a comment in the chat. Peace to you, brother. Hold on, let me make sure my camera's straight. What is going on, y'all? I appreciate everybody stopping in, man. Again, another Cigar Sunday. Early, Mike, they done made a comeback on the 76ers, so we're going to see where that goes. I'm your host, Kofa. Coffee. I want to make sure my mic is just that before I even got in here. Let's do this again. I apologize. I had the wrong mic hooked up. Peace. Kofa, G.R.O.W.T.H podcast. Wake your glass up. I'm glad everybody's in here. Happy Sunday to y'all. I hope you had a great weekend. Again, I'm working with minimal equipment like I've been doing when I'm outside. Normally, I don't have the full setup, so I had to check my mic again. But I'm your host, Kofa, K-O-F-A, not coffee, not kufu, not Kofi, or any variation thereof. This is G.R.O.W.T.H podcast. Growth stands for gentlemen reaching our wealth through healing. I appreciate everybody being here for this Cigar Sunday. I'm going to keep it short and sweet today. I got like 2 videos to react to, and then I'm probably going to slide on off. I'm not going to lie. I had to wake up from a quick nap I was taking earlier because the boy still is tired. I told y'all I had to work this weekend, had to throw on that uniform, so I'm a little bit burnt out. I do want to slide over and support El Jefe Cigar Bar if you're in the Atlanta area in College Park. They're having a small event today at 7, so I am going to be on here a couple of minutes. Go and get myself together, slide over there, buy a stick, support, and probably come on back. I'm not going to promise I'm going to have back on the mic because I don't know who I'm going to run into, like I always say at the cigar bar. Again, RIP to Mr. Harold, an older gentleman that I spoke about earlier this week that just passed, so we might sit around and smoke one in his honor and just reminisce. But let me see who's in here. I got some comments coming in. Harambe, appreciate it, brother. Brother, I had my wrong mic plugged up, man. I was going off my Mac audio. I don't know why the hell the system picked that one up instead of my actual microphone. But I'm here now. I appreciate y'all all being in here. Go ahead and give yourselves a round of applause. Again, we're going to keep it short and sweet today. I am going to talk about the Eboni K. Williams situation just a little bit. I do have the full Breakfast Club interview. I was going to play that, but that's like 40 minutes long. And with me talking, analyzing, breaking it down, it's going to stretch out to over an hour show. I didn't want to do that today. Again, the boy is tired. I am human. Believe it or not, I don't walk on water. But I am going to speak on that. I do want to speak about Kevin Samuels a little bit more. Then I got 2 videos that are totally unrelated to either of those situations, but it still comes back to that big conglomerate of the dynamics between black men and black women and what's going on in the community. Thank you all for being here. I'm trying to keep y'all up to date on this score. Look like they about to go over to overtime. Celtics got the ball. Tatum to Smart for 3. He just missed it. We going into overtime. It's 107 to 107. Y'all know I can't play it, copyright strike, but I did catch those last few seconds for y'all. I got my phone over here. But regarding the Eboni K. Williams situation, everybody is saying, man, we've already talked about this. We beat this up all week. And the reason why I want to talk about it again, and why I'm going to continue to talk about it probably on into the week, because it's not about her. It's not about her. It's about the average day-to-day person that has more interaction with each other. It's about the white supremacy. Again, I told you guys, the boogeyman. When things go wrong in the black community, it's 1 or 2 people you blame. You find the nearest black man to blame, or that imaginary white boogeyman of white supremacy. I told y'all my feelings about the words, the phrase white supremacy, and how every time you say it, you're almost admitting that they're superior, but we're not going to do that. We're going to have to start adjusting or flat out changing some of this behavior. Some of this conversation pieces. Get over here. I am going to drop this in real quick, just in case somebody want to come up and comment. I'm going to drop the link to the chat, to the interview slide in the chat. I'm going to pin it to the top. I know Corey Joe, you said you were driving, brother. I respect that. Please drive safe. I think you're in Atlanta as well, and I know these fools can't drive around these parts, so make sure you got your head on the swivel, brother. Let me slide some of this out the way. I'm working off of one screen as well, y'all. But the reason why I wanted to talk about that Eboni K. Williams comments, because it does boil down to the average day-to-day person. And it's so many women that aren't attorneys, that aren't in Eboni's situation, they still think the same way. That for whatever reason, I want you to scale and skill up and look at this, and I want you to, get as high as you can in the corporate ladder, black man. I want you to own something. And some of the things she said on the Breakfast Club, I'm more than likely to talk about that tomorrow when I actually have time. But some of the things she said on the Breakfast Club were actually true. They were factual. But this is my issue. When black men say those things, we usually get you find a rope, get the rope. When Kevin Samuels was breathing and he was saying this about having standards and elevating as black men, especially when he was talking to black women that willingly called in. He was talking to average, mediocre, day-to-day black women, and everybody wanted to crucify this brother. Again, it's been a full year now, and they're still dancing on his grave. Eboni K. Williams said something similar and then tried to reverse it. When Kevin did this night after night after night, he preached black love, black marriage. He preached black men getting better, taking care of your image, scaling and skilling up. And they crucified the brother. So my big takeaway and my big issue with a lot of these comments, because while she did get the pushback, it's a lot of sisters that supported her. Guess what? It's a lot of sisters out here that sound just like Eboni K. Williams. Get your one in the comments. Stuart D. Knight. Stewart says, oh, bullshit. If you don't know how white supremacy functions, don't speak on it till you learn it. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. You can disagree. That's fine. But I know how white supremacy works. But when you have that idea and you push it out and you keep saying it over and over and over again, you're saying that they're superior. That's my stance on it. Call me a coon, sell out, whatever you want to. That's where I stand on that shit. I meant what the fuck I said. Stewart also says start by looking up the words white and supremacy in the dictionary and contrast those definitions to reality. And keep your pride out of it. I'm going to carry on with the show. I thank you for giving me permission to carry on with my own goddamn show. I appreciate that, Stewart. No. Moving on. Again, I don't like that phrase. I don't like the black people continuously look for it and throw it out there. I'm fully aware of what happened to our people. I told y'all I was woke before the sun got up. I done heard every reason, looked at all the books, looked at the documentaries, all that stuff. I've met some of the elders that have spoke about this, personally had conversations with them, met people who were raised, met other elders who were raised up under the elders, the Dr. Claude Andersons. I can go on and on. I've talked to these people. So when we're constantly using this, because guess what? We've heard these terms and white supremacy and, oh, what happened to us in slavery and things like that since the 60s, 70s. It's 2023. We got all this technology. We have all these books. We have all this wisdom, and we haven't taken care of our own community. I understand redlining and how that works. You're talking to somebody that went to high school in a small-ass, country-ass town called Ozark, Alabama, where some people that are still missing, that are black from the 90s. Go talk to somebody else. I know what real racism looks like. I was jumped as a kid and spit on in the fucking 90s and called N-I-G-G-E-R, capital E-R, hard R. I know how this shit works, but I am going to put the onus on us to get better. So while Eboni was saying certain things like that, I do hold her accountable because the average person apparently isn't doing what they're supposed to do, and she came up and cleaned it up again on the Breakfast Club, and then talked about, oh, I still, it's the bigotry of racism. I mean, the bigotry of of mediocrity. This is the thing. Most people across the board are average people. Those average people, again, during the pandemic, kept the fucking country running. That's what the fuck happened. Those average people, and they're extraordinary people because they have a specialized skill set. We're not talking about some teenager that's cooking fries at McDonald's. We're talking about grown-ass men, again, sanitation workers, truck drivers. You know the country would have shut down. It ain't the planes you would worry about traveling and shit. Everybody want to talk shit about the passport bros and everything, all that. You know who deserve a lot of the respect, most of it? The truck drivers. Once that shit gets here or gets on a barge, you see how them barges sat out there on the water for months. By the time that stuff gets here, whether it's electronics, you know, non-perishable stuff that's not gonna go bad, not food or anything like that, it has to go on a truck. Everything we get in this country is from trucking. They make good money. But it's a lot of sisters that won't fuck with dudes like that because it's not a glamorous and sexy job. Let me get over to the comments real quick. Be more in the building, Smoke and Talk in here. I appreciate y'all brothers for being in here, man. She injected it, she tried to clean it up, but the reason why I don't like that term, again, is because that's like saying that they are superior. I don't believe that. Because again, I grew up with some country-ass white folks that I've seen struggle. But I know how the system works as well, unfortunately. So is there racism, bigotry in this country? Fuck yes, there's racism and bigotry in this country. But stop giving power to a group that you really don't even have to deal with most of the time, especially when you leave work. If you're going to work, you're doing a good job, because guess what? America needs a working class. If you go and you put in that work, you still got to come home and take care of your family. Unfortunately, it's so many men out here that aren't taking care of their family, but like I put the onus on sisters. Like I had a conversation with one today. I put the onus on women because they're choosing the guys that don't take care of the family. There's plenty of men out here that also build and lead, but those aren't the guys getting chose. But everybody wants to come up with these stereotypes, these short, fat, bald, broke, all this shit going on, and it's not necessarily true most of the time. And the reason why I say this, for the sisters that may see this, you talking about guys that go to work as average, they're boring, they're lame and all that. But guess what? His money's always good enough for your ass to settle for later on down the line. When you want him to take care of 2, 3, 4, 5 kids, that same fucking check is good enough for you to settle for when you realize you can't pull the man that you want. And some of y'all have had interactions with this man. Again, I'm gonna pick on Eboni real quick since she's, the hot topic. I've met very elite women. Lawyers, doctors, all that shit, the stereotypical high-paying jobs you can imagine. Met these women, so they're in these circles with men, and they're constantly telling us they're gonna go get them a zaddy. They're gonna get them a white boy. Y'all ain't the only game in town, black men, because these other men want us. Trust me, I done been in the room, they want us. As I've always said, they'll sleep with you. They'll sleep with you. How many of them are actually trying to keep you? Because just like black women love telling black men, your mama black, your sister black, guess what, sis? His mama white, his sister white. He gonna have some explaining to do. He come home with a black woman. They'll like you, they'll treat you with respect, they'll be cordial and all this shit. He still got questions to answer. Just like if I brought a white girl home today, she can be sweet as pie. When I drop her ass back off, or when I'm around my female family members, those black women are gonna ask me, why her? Some are gonna listen to me explaining and be all right with it. Others, not so much. White men gotta deal with the same thing. Hispanic men gotta deal with the same thing. There's a handful of mothers that are gonna sit there and say, well, as long as my son happy. But some of them still gonna be like, who the fuck is she? We're gonna have to convince them why we chose a specific woman, especially if we're dating outside of our race. Get to some of the comments. Appreciate you, Corey Joe. Hit the like button. Like Umar said, Eboni was talking talent and tip talk. That's like, hold on. That's like when Steve Harvey was talking with Shannon Sharp. I first saw the clip on Instagram and somebody in the comments said, Steve talking with his pockets, not ours. Again, you can do certain things once you reach a certain price point. But as men, I'm gonna just share it with y'all. Sister see this, she know who she is, shout out to her. But we was having the conversation, she was like, well, how are we supposed to sustain this lifestyle when you need money to do things and women want to work and stuff like that? And I told her it's no problem. But if you're going to hold men accountable for being traditional men, guess what? As I've always said, you may not get that 4, 5, 6 bedroom starting out. You're going to have to start with that 3, 2. If you're relying solely on his income, because you still go to work, right? Now you want to go to work, but you're telling men, hey, the check I earn, I'm going to keep all of it because I'm not doing 50-50. And as I said to the sister, it's crazy as fuck. These women go out here working. They won't do 50-50 with a man, but they'll fuck with a dude that'll leave them pregnant, raising a child by themselves, doing 100% all by themselves. God damn it. Give myself one.
Knocks down another 3-ball. This guy is hotter than fish grease here.
Somebody please make that make sense. I would really like for one of the sisters to make it make sense. Stewart says, intelligent 10th ideology is a white supremacist ideology. But we picked it up. That's my thing, Stewart. We keep saying white folks, white folks, white folks. What do we pick up? With this knowledge that we know it is a white supremacist ideology, why are we still utilizing it internally ourselves? We have too much information to still be doing all this shit. This is why I don't like the term white supremacy, because it continuously gives them the superior title. We're in control of that. It's like, so Stuart, I'm giving you a little bit of pushback, brother, because it's like us taking the N-word, and now we've injected all this power into the N-word because now it's our word. So if we can take power from this word as a term of endearment, and we're still infighting about this word, if we can take that power using the N-word, then we can reject some of this other white supremacist bullshit. I understand the concept. I know what happened to our people. I've shared on this platform, by the grace of Allah, I have 2 cousins on both sides of my family who have done the work. I can literally trace my history back to the person that came off the slave ship that started my family lineage in this country. Corey Joe says, make it make sense. Stewart said they don't need the word to make it happen, evidently. And I agree with you there. We've taken the term. That's what I'm saying. We're using it. And currently use it against them to a degree. But again, it's a word that was misused to describe our people, and we're still keeping it going. And we wonder why we still keep getting the same results. I'm a spiritual person. I'm not going to say I'm mostly religious, even though I am Muslim. But at the end of the day, if you keep throwing stuff out, it's going to come back to you like a boomerang. I believe if you do, it's called karma. Whatever religion, spirituality you believe in, most of us believe in karma. Whatever you do to somebody else, that shit going to eventually make its way back to you. So now we're using the word against them, but when it come down to tangibles, they still have it because they created a system. But we could have so much more working inside this system and doing for ourselves, because everywhere you go, there's a black side of town. Played a video yesterday of, maybe 2 days ago, of Kevin Samuels telling black men to get out and look further. Not just not just immediately go to the black side of town. Because again, racism, I'd rather use that term than white supremacy. Racism in America, redlining, they'll dump all the poor property over here, make it the black side of town. Or if they can look in the future and see that, oh, this is a great opportunity for real estate, They'll start using eminent domain, things like that. This is why most of these highways are running through black neighborhoods. Now, while the chemicals and all that stuff is running through our neighborhoods, we got to do a better job of keeping it clean. Shout out to D Mays and Mind Games Uncut here on YouTube. If you can, go follow that brother. He actually does work in the community with the youth picking up trash, trying to keep the community clean. But we see so many of our people that just flat out don't care. That's why it's difficult for me to stay in this woke phase, because we got this information, we got all the knowledge, so why keep doing the shit? Because you can't be talking about how you making all this money for the sisters out there again. They all types of boss bitches and running shit. You ask any average day-to-day brother out here in the street, that he getting money. He scheming, hustling, scamming. He ain't no broke ass dude. So what are we building? D Scott in the building. Appreciate you being in here, bro. Stuart said a degree never before seen in history till now. Let me see. Stuart said the term is just an identifier for the ills most black people deal with daily. And then we're going to have to pinpoint some of those ills. Because guess what? White supremacy, a lot of times it really don't have white supremacy. It don't have shit to do with our health. I know we're living in quote unquote food deserts. But there was a time, I'm old enough. I'm 41, for those that don't know. I'm old enough to remember when these backyards, especially in the South, had gardens in them. Now we become so inundated with it, we rely on whether or not those same trucks are running. But a truck driver, bus driver is average, mediocre. We need to aspire more. Let me ask people this, because I'm big on business and ownership too. But if everybody owns something, who's buying? If we have all this skill set in these areas, who's going to be the customers? My homeboy said it best years ago. If everybody hustlers, who the fuck is the customers? Listen to hip hop, you think everybody getting a bag by selling dope. Who's buying it? Then we look up some years later, and now these kids is talking about buying it. Everybody's a consumer now. Isn't that funny how that goes? We are lacking balance and structure in our community. Let me get back to the comments. Racism is a tool of white supremacy. I understand the bigger cause to it. I do. They don't call you niggas no more. They used to call you a thug. You got to have workers. And you got to consume. It has to be both. It has to be a balance. You can't have people owning companies up here and then looking at each other like, well, who you going to get to work? Anybody can start a company. You can go to the state, city, start an LLC. Boom, you're a CEO overnight. How's your company ran? Who's working it for you? Who are you employing? Who are you looking out for? These are the questions we have to start asking when we're talking about ownership and black people getting better. Because guess what? I can't be up here on this company, hire somebody else to do a job, and then shit on the average person or say they're mediocre. Those mediocre skills is what's keeping money in my pocket. It's an ebb and a flow. It's a cycle. And there you go. Shout out to Shamar, bro. When you said that shit years ago, I never forgot it, dog. Matter of fact, you get one of these.
Knocks down another three ball. This guy is hotter than fish grease here.
And this.
Hotter than fish grease.
And one more.
Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man.
So shout out to you, brother. I never forgot that shit. I was like, well, damn. Bro, right. If everybody is selling, who's buying? If everybody has something to sell, who is going to buy? There has to be a customer. There has to be a business. So again, I agree with Ebony from the perspective of ownership. Yes, skill and scale up, brother. But let me ask the sisters this. Just because he owns a business, is it a successful business? And are you patient enough to stay with this man through the ebbs and flows, the highs and lows, the hell and high water, when that shit ain't working, when the credit fucked up, when the lights go off? Are you woman enough to still ride with that man because you see his work ethic? Unfortunately, most of the time, when brothers are starting a business straight from scratch and gotta work, our women ain't there. Our people in general hate the process. We'll stand at the victory line. I've seen them in men and women. Everybody love you when the money flowing and the champagne popping and having a good ass party and all the food getting barbecued and everything going good. When them hard times come, it's only a handful. It's only a handful. I think the Sixers just won too, by the way. They was in overtime. I think they ended up pulling it out. Let me see. Yep, 2-2. Sixers just won. Y'all hold on while I relight this. Now, one thing I will give Eboni is restarting this conversation, as she said on the Breakfast Club. We have to have the conversation. I'm big on the conversation. But again, I put the same thing out. Keep the same fucking energy when it's a black man. You know what? Keep the same fucking energy when it's an average black man. Because we don't know what his next step is going to be. She talked about her mother going from doing a particular job, I think driving the bus, and then moving on to something else. But again, I'm going to play the whole video tomorrow when I'm in the house, sitting down, kind of relaxed and all that. But I had a long weekend, and I do want to chill with some of my people. But I am going to keep my promise that I'm doing a live video every day in May. For those that are new here, I'm doing a live video every day in May. It seems like my sweet spot is between 6 and 9 p.m. Whichever works best for y'all. Drop a 6 in the chat. If it works at 9, drop a 9 in the chat, and I'll play it by ear. I'll probably keep that going this week and make a hard decision by the middle of the month. I don't know who's yelling in my neighborhood. I don't know if y'all heard that shit. And get to some of these comments. You gotta start thinking business and start plotting industry. I totally believe that, Stuart. Stop thinking that is. We gotta start doing. It was that, man, Kofa, you need to blow up. Y'all conversation flow is excellent. Brother, I appreciate that. Slow and steady, man. Slow and steady. I do want to take this, speaking of business, my thought process, some of the other things I'm working on, books and other stuff like that. I do want to turn this from a podcast / YouTube channel to doing more events. I got to get out my comfort shell. For those of y'all that I'll explain all that later on as well throughout the month. But coming out of my shell, this is the most I've talked pretty much my entire adult life. To be honest with you, I was a very quiet dude, reserved, laid back, introverted. Y'all see it, lone wolf, Sigma male. Had my share of women. Wanted to have a little bit more through marriage. That didn't work out. Now I'm swinging back to the pocket. Talked about it a couple of days ago when Kevin Samuels was speaking about being the lion versus being the tiger. I know I'm in my tiger phase right now, if it's a phase. Because I could go from here and go into my silver fox years. But I've been a lone wolf, but I'm still a wolf. I understand the importance of a pack. So I do want to build something with the brothers that are listening. I do want to build something with the brothers that I do know and just keep it going from there. Because guess what? I'm not going to do this forever. Like I said, I'm middle-aged. I showed you guys the numbers the other day. Unfortunately, we got to talk about the health too. We got to talk about that. So that's going to be a big show. But the life expectancy for black men from the numbers from 2021, the most recent numbers, is 66 years old, y'all. So we got to get on our shit. We can't be on here having these conversations about the Eboni K. Williams of the world and you not on your shit. I don't give a damn if you're the average person. Let me explain something to people that don't understand average. You can say mediocre and compare that. When we're talking about average, we're talking about across the board. We're talking about most people. So is average Now, average, as in, you know, how we look at it in our community, as bad because the majority of people are doing it. Because when Kevin Samuels, RIP, spoke about the average woman is overweight. The average woman does have at least one kid. Average black woman has at least one kid out of wedlock. The majority of those women that have that one kid have a second kid from a second man out of wedlock or more. That's also average. But we hated when he spoke about the average day-to-day woman, when that was the case, regardless of her job, regardless of how much money she made. Woman after woman came on there talking about how much she made, and she had 2-3 kids by 2 or 3 different men. Sometimes the kids were produced in a marriage and it didn't work. She thought she could do better. Slide back over to the comments real quick, y'all. Shamar says Eboni K. Williams should know better. Her like a lot of black folks are lucky as fuck. She knows the importance of government, like how in 2003 got caught stealing hills but avoided jail because of law. That shit I didn't know, brother. I appreciate you. I got to go back and look at that. I didn't know that, Shamar. Give yourselves a round of applause for all that dope sleuthing, flat-footing, and doing all your investigations. You did your Googles, brother. Proud of you. Thank you. But to that point, we know the uphill battle we have, and I keep saying it. Uphill is the way, y'all. We don't like it because it's hard. Again, we're always taught, man, I'm trying to move forward. So if you're moving forward, that's pretty cool, right? Man, I'm trying to move up. The only direction that goes forward and up at the same time is going uphill. Uphill is the way. And then when you get up there, you can plant your flag and you got a different view. I've been saying it the last couple of days. But guess what? You got to understand, on the other side of that hill, sometimes you're going to have to drop off. That's why it's ebbs and flows. It's an up and down. Nothing is guaranteed. Let me get to these 2 videos real quick. They're real short. I'm going to react to them real quick, and we're probably going to wrap up. Again, I want to go and support this particular cigar bar that's been good to me. I've met some solid people there. So shout out to El Jefe Cigar Company in College Park, Georgia. But we are going to get into this video.
Black man, but as soon as the black man starts disrespecting the black woman, oh, well, he hates women, he has to be gay. Well, blame the mother, because it is a cycle in the black community. If the father is in the household, 9 times out of 10, the black women don't want to listen to a man because the white people have taught black women, you can do it on your own. You don't need a man. So when a man tells you to shut the fuck up because he sees something that is about to happen and you don't listen, you run the man away. Nobody wants to listen. Black women do not listen. If we want the black man to be in the household, we are going to have to learn how to take a back seat and close our mouths. Me, especially. I had to learn the hard way. We run the men away because we've been taught to be so masculine and nobody else wants to take accountability. Black women, you are the issue.
It's rare that you hear from a sister saying that, right? What are y'all thoughts on that? Because my thoughts is, she's right. I just had this conversation. When I say just, maybe an hour ago, sister asked me, so whose fault do you think it is? I said, I put most of it on the black women. Because again, the men that are acting out like that are allowed to. And those women accept that. And then you have children with them. This is the other thing people like to inject all the time. Well, women are multipliers. You know you can multiply bullshit too, right? You know you can multiply bullshit. So if sisters are out here and they're having kids with, oh, I had to turn my phone off, with these bullshit men, not saying your kids are bullshit, but you just put them in a situation where they don't have a good father or they don't have a father at all. Women are multipliers, yes. They can multiply some bullshit too. And they usually keep that shit going. Most women are chaotic, and I need brothers to understand that. Once you understand that, I don't care who it comes from, whether it's your mother, sister, daughter, family, cousin, women outside the family. Most women enjoy chaos. This is why they watch the programming they watch. This is why they think they can act a fool like that. We have real life videos. We have real-time videos from social media showing black women acting a complete ass, know they're being recorded, know the police have been called, and don't care. Because you can't tell them shit. And I'm not saying it's only just and solely black women, but that's my demographic of woman. That's what I've been dealing with my whole entire life. White women on some bullshit too. Trust me, I got some white friends. Again, I told you I grew up in the South. Everybody ain't had no damn cross burning in their lawn. I got some white boys I'm cool with. Some of their problems are very similar. Some of that shit is very different. I'm like, what the fuck? How do y'all deal with that? And then when they ask me questions, hell, I gotta start answering too. But once we start comparing notes as men, we dealing with a lot of same shit. A lot of the women just won't listen. However, in the black community, it's almost par for the course. You expect that shit. I met so many men that expect to be stepfathers. They just haven't found the right woman, because if she's a good woman, somebody else wanted her, and of course she'll have kids. I had posted something the other day. It's interesting. As a community, we're supposed to, as men, we're supposed to accept women having a hoe phase, because that was before you. But nobody ever wants the nice guy to let go of his simp phase. That's the space they want to keep men in. We gotta overlook your hoe phase, but you want to constantly remind good men that he was a simp, and he don't deserve pussy. He wasn't getting pussy, so he don't deserve none. You just need to be glad somebody with you at the end of the day. This is where that settling comes back in, brothers, where you're supposed to be building for her and her kids when you got a similar check, or you worked yourself up and now you're supposed to turn around and give it to her. Same thing I just told the sister that I was talking to earlier. Well, why are you blaming black women? Because y'all accept this behavior from certain types of men. The certain types of men that you accept it from become your purview, your vantage point of what most black men are. And we're hearing the same story from black women. Y'all keep asking us to listen. We got this shit on repeat. Again, we've been hearing it since we was yay big. We've been hearing it since we were children. So we're hearing it across the age spectrum of black women. How are we going to say that it's not the majority? But you always hear about granddaddy having kids on the other side of town. Let me get back to these comments real quick. Stewart says average equals contentment. Contentment equals less consumption. Less consumption equals less capital in the pockets of the few. We can control our own money. We don't have to keep giving it to everybody. But guess what? If we're not going to do right, and as woke as I am, I will go over there. But I choose my people first. But so many of our people just expect that we're supposed to deal with bullshit. I'm not on that type of time. You can't expect that some people, that because they look like you get to be rude. I've seen Asian people be some of the nicest people I met. But other people say they're some of the rudest people they met. But I also ask, where are those Asian people at? How did you come and present yourself as a black person? Because this is the thing. Common courtesy is used across the board. When I go to these different countries, the first thing that I've said it before, the first thing you do is learn how to say please and thank you. Excuse me. The same thing, everybody. I don't give a damn about your race, creed, color, none of that. Everybody grandmama has raised them with some type of damn manners. So learning these things and how to you take you wherever you go. Again, gentlemen, you take you wherever you go. So learning how to be courteous to people goes a long fucking way. I haven't even shared a story of me in basic training real quick. Met this dude from Spain. Now, he's from Spain, like Spanish. Comes to the country. His father's a citizen. He gets his citizenship. He joins the army. We're in basic training together. And he told me one day, he was like, man, I was afraid to talk to you because our bunks were next to each other. I was afraid to talk to you because when I first, like, all the information I got for black people back in Spain came from TV. I thought all of you just carry guns and rob people. This is what he's telling me face to face. Like, you're the only black person. I've been in the States like 2 years, and you're the first black friend I made. You're the first black person I actually had a conversation with. I had to explain the whole thing of slavery. Spent basic training, damn near giving a class on slavery in America. Because coming from Europe, slavery, bad racism for them was, you know what? The Holocaust. Not taking anything away from those people plight, but oh, the poor Jews. I had to tell them 2 million black folks died just on the boat ride over here. You want to compare that to the people that actually got caught there? Stewart also says that's why average is considered a cuss word. Did a video a couple of earlier this week, maybe Thursday, Wednesday. You can go back and look at it, Stewart. Where I said most black women hate the word average more than they hate submission. You hear them all the time. They'll tell on themselves all the time, I'll submit for the right man. I'll submit for this. I'll submit for that. Ugh, who want average? You can do so much better than average. You can also do so much worse. The thing about average is, I've always said, it's a foundation. You got something to build on. Back to the comments for the sisters video. It is a lot of black women's fault. Not all, not across the board, but in my opinion, it is the majority. I've heard conversation after conversation, again, of women saying what the fuck they're not gonna do, which forces black men's hand in asking, what do you bring to the table? And then we get pushed back for even asking that. This is why Steve Harvey was talking about, well, what do you bring? Steve needs to realize the brothers that are asking are already doing. And it's fucked up that everybody has this premise in their head. Not everybody, don't want to speak in absolutes. Most people, when we talk about, well, what you doing as a man, the first thing they go to is somebody laying on their mama couch, playing video game, eating chips all day. Again, the image of the black man, this is where Kevin comes in. The image of the black man has been projected so negatively that that's everybody's first go-to. Our women gravitate to these dudes. I've seen women take care of grown-ass men. As soon as the breakup happened, they're complaining to me or other brothers like me that have work ethic. And then the complaint is, well, dealing with black men is like having another child in the house. That was your experience, because that's what the fuck you allow. I don't need to borrow your car. I don't need to borrow money. I don't need to sleep on your couch. I don't need to do none of that shit. I've been hearing for years that black men are uneducated. I had a bachelor's degree at 22. The same women I graduated with were telling me this. Because again, they were telling me this because they didn't want my ass. I was walking the straight and narrow. The guy they were complaining about is the guy they were fucking. The guy they eventually got pregnant by. Ain't that crazy? Pivot over here to this other video, man. We're going to get ready to wrap it up. I told you I ain't going to be on here long. We've been cooking about a good hour. My smoke's still going. As the saying goes, if you got them, smoke them. This is a simple cigarello. I forgot what I even bought. I bought some type of generic off-brand. It's kind of sweet, like creamy earth notes in it for those that do smoke cigars. If you don't, need to get on them, man. This is the gentleman's leisure. Go over to a comment. Antonio, peace, brother. Just on here cooking on a Sunday, man. About to get into another reaction video. I want y'all to hear this sister. And I got to give her some pushback because I might stop it in the middle as we go through it. That's what I'm going to do. But let's listen.
The culture I see of black men expecting to be able to mistreat us first and then get themselves together later, and we're still right here like
Y'all heard what she said. The culture of black men expecting to be able to mistreat black women and then get their shit together later, and black women are still there. Again, brothers, if anything else, I'm gonna teach you how to pick out this bullshit. She just admitted they deal with fuckboys. She told on herself. She told on so many other sisters. Black men not doing nothing, then want to get their shit together. What about the brother who's working already in process to get his shit together? No mention of him, because that's not the premise, that's not the thought process, that's not the caricature of what a black man is. She's speaking from her experience probably, but again, just told on herself. We're still there. Of course you are, sis. You're some of the good women that we know are complaining about these men, but yet you're still there for them. Let's keep on cooking.
Freaking hate this mess, but I love you, so I'm here trying and hoping you're gonna work this thing out to eventually get it together. And so I'm holding you down, and at the first sign of anything, you leave? Do you understand that I have had roommates as a black woman who were black men that I have at times felt unsafe with, and I would not call the cops because I refused to call the cops on a black man, and you are...
Again, telling on herself and so many other sisters. I'm living with a man. Because, roommates, okay, I'll let her have that. I'm living with a black man who's acting a certain way. I'm physically afraid, but I'm not going to call the police. How many brothers have been laid down just because they wanted to call the police and play that game, and that brother ain't make it out of that situation? Or he made it with a strike. Told y'all the story about a brother I know just had a newborn. He rocking the baby. Him and his wife get in an argument. She pick up a butcher knife and comes at him while he's holding their baby. He gave her a cross right, laid her ass out, calls the police, thinking they're gonna come get her, at least make her leave for the night or something. They arrest him because he hit his wife. It's so many of these situations that go down, but again, it's plenty of sisters that will rock with brothers where they feel unsafe, they feel unsecure, and then we got to hear this story later on when they hit 35, 40 years old. But these are the brothers they deal with. And then because they'll tell their story, that becomes the narrative. Black women have controlled this narrative of the family structure and black male and female relationships for the longest. They've been in control. This is why when black women say shit like Eboni K. Williams, people take it as law. Because we're constantly hearing the same shit from our women. But they talk more often, they're telling the same stories. But I encourage brothers to listen. Again, take your alpha off for a second. Shut the fuck up, just let her ass talk. She gonna tell on herself. Let me let it play, you got 17 more seconds. I'm gonna rewind it a little bit.
Cops, because I refuse to call the cops on a black man, and you are going across the freaking world talking about me? Are you kidding me? Lack of loyalty. I'm not angry. I'm brokenhearted. We love you so much. We love you so much.
When she says we, what we? Is it just black women in general? We love you. Which black man? I always speak to a type. They never mention what type of black man they love. Do you love the bum? Which is mostly what you're talking about. Which lets me know that's who aroused you, who got your cat wet, who you gravitated toward. Or did you love the quote-unquote average, nice guy, good dude, whatever you want to term it. The guy that you didn't have to feel unsafe with and decide not to call the police. This is why they give Kevin so much hell, because he asks those type of questions. Oh, he was abusive? Did you file a police report? Oh, he was crazy? How long did it take you to leave? Oh, when did you find out that he was cheating or doing XYZ? Was that before or after you gave him his second baby? But again, we're not supposed to question black women because it's deemed as talking back. We have to understand so many of these black women, they don't mature faster. They just been put in situations earlier. And a lot of times it's by other black women, mama, grandmama, auntie. That's how they've been raised. So they think they're grown well before their time. To the point when they get with another adult black male, they talk to him like he's a fucking child. And then if he doesn't adhere to her rules and what she likes, he's the bad guy. He's the devil. He's a narcissist. He's abusive. But she keeps engaging with the real man because she knows what she can get from him. He's a provider. He's a protector. She goes to him for real life shit. She has fun with this dude over here. But after the fun wears off, now she realizes she's been holding him down, like the sister just said, this whole time. And then it's, oh, now you want to go overseas. Trust me, she's not talking about the fuck niggas. Most of them niggas still content on going into the club, pulling out women, doing shit like that. She's not talking about the solid brothers. I mean, she's not talking about the F-boys going overseas. They can't. Too much child support. Got felonies. Just flat out can't afford it because she's been funding his lifestyle. The weed and laying around. The solid ass brothers that they're now mad at are the same guys they didn't want. Let me get to the comments. Stewart says that's typical. Some women only want the man with evident faults. I don't understand it for the life of me, Stewart. Mind Games Uncut. This the brother I was telling y'all about. What's going on, brother? Appreciate you checking in. Give yourselves a round of applause. This the brother I was telling y'all does the work in the community, trying to keep it clean with his youth program. Matter of fact, Mind Games, I see you in a minute. I told him I'm only going to be on here a little bit, man. I'm finna slide up there and meet up with you, brother. Antonio says, how many men they know that just sit on the couch? Hell, I don't know more than one. Neither do I. But this goes to my point, Antonio, that I've said so many times. A lot of these women sleeping with the same man. When you boil down that small ass percentage of men, it's crazy that all the time the women are always saying all men do is lie and cheat. He can't cheat if you don't think that that's your man and he has another woman. So that small percentage of men that are doing this bullshit, that are cheaters, y'all are laying up with. But that becomes it's one dude, 5 women. So now that's 5 women with the same premise, same idea, same talking points. Mind Games Uncut says hit the like button and share. Yes, please do. If you're new in here, make sure you subscribe. Right on time. Salute, Drew. I appreciate you, brother. Of course, says Big Drew. Mind Game says Ebony needs some good D. She probably does, man. I know most of those women. Corey Joe said, damn, you cutting deep, Kofa, man. I'm talking what I see. I'm talking what we see as a community, but we don't like to talk about, even though it's an actionable item. Those are the things I talk about. We talk about that all the time in the Army. Your equipment, things that have to take place are actionable item. These women choosing these men to get pregnant by these men, that is a actionable item. We're not talking about feelings. A actionable item. These things took place. We like to pretend like they don't. That's again why everybody gave Kevin Samuels so much pushback. Shout out to Broken Traditions. Talked to him earlier. I was showing some clips of Kevin Samuels and he was breaking 2 days ago. That was my 2 lives from the 4th and the 5th of this week. But he was saying he had never seen those clips of Kevin Samuels. He had never seen those streams that I played. And he kind of looked at it different because he was never on his content. He knew people didn't like him for some of the stuff he said, but he didn't know that he was speaking to men in that manner or just about getting better. You do deserve better. I'm with Eboni K all the way when she says our people deserve better. But my focus is the men, because guess what? You're average today. You could be above average tomorrow. And this is the fucked up thing in our community. We think average is poverty. It's below average. We think average is is poor. We think above average is average. We think excellence is above average. If we don't own the shit in multimillionaires, this is why we worship celebrities so much, because they got that money quick as fuck. And then it's reported out to the world how much money this person is earning. Sports and entertainment. We love it. That brother that worked up to that shit, that now reached the precipice, and now we want to act like, oh, we love him so much. Do we? I asked the sister that I just played the clip of, do you love us or do you love them? We got to start compartmentalizing certain types of black folks with other certain types of black folks. It sounds like classism, right? It sounds, well, Kofa, you sound like Eboni K. Williams. She talking about, no, I'm talking about character. Fuck your job. Which is why Iyanla pivoted to that. I'll date a bus driver if he had good character, if he loved his mama, those things. Because those things ultimately matter. I know some dudes that got bread on top of bread. Legit bread on top of bread. Straight up players. Just run through women left and right. But the women are cool with it because of his title, because of the amount of money he has. Get over here to the comments again. Stewart says, nurture instinct coupled with an ideal that a black man is a child. There you go. You get this one for that one, Stewart.
Knocks down another 3-ball. This guy is hotter than fish grease here.
Stewart also says, you don't appear as a child to her. She sees it as you not needing her. But this is the thing, Stewart. They tend to act like this. I've seen it where they have adult sons or sons going into adulthood, getting ready to leave. She don't know how to do shit else but be a mama. So she started panicking then too. So even with her own child, how dare you? How dare you leave me? How dare you not need me anymore? And then they get on here and start preaching like the sister was preaching. We go through so much for everybody. A lot of that shit y'all ain't got to go through, sis. Again, my mother, who happens to be a black woman, gave me those words. 50% of what we go through is self-inflicted. Most of that shit that so many sisters run around talking about how they take care of everybody else and nobody take care of us. Half the people don't give a fuck about you. Half the people enjoy you having those problems. They're going to use the shit out you. And then you come back to the good dude that you, in turn, had already used the shit out of, and you want him to marry you later on. And Turner says, for real, he is like 6'7". Bruh, I know it. We met those guys. If Drew's still in here, he tell the story all the time. His homeboy is some Rick Fox looking motherfucker. Got 5 kids by 5 different women and engaged to a 6th right now. And might have another one on the way, I believe, if I remember the story correctly. Got another homeboy. Got a homegirl going through it. She going through a divorce, but her husband was the tall, pretty ass, light-skinned dude. I tell people all the time I'm not the right kind of light-skinned. I'm just light-skinned. Don't got the pretty hair. Don't got the light eyes. None of that shit. But she was married to one of these cats, and now they getting ready to split up. Nigga can't keep his dick in his pants. Y'all excuse me. I said it earlier. I'm trying to stop using the N-word, man. I really am. Work with your boy. But he got several other women. But it's a handful of dudes. It's only a handful. But because so many women are dealing with the handful of dudes, when these women leave, we're hearing a bunch of women's voices. All of them got the same experience because they were dealing with the same man. So of course they got the same experience. Or similar. And that becomes the narrative. And we think, oh, black men are so fucking far behind. And it's not the case. Corey, I got 5 minutes. Yeah, that was probably 5 minutes ago. I appreciate you, Corey. Stewart says, yep. Antonio laughing. Look, man. Oh.
Knocks down another 3-ball. This guy is hotter than fish grease here.
Yeah, man, I'm regular light-skinned. I tell folks all the time, bro, I'm not the right kind of light-skinned. When y'all be talking about, oh, the pretty boys back in the 80s and stuff, I don't know what the fuck they feel like. Nigga, I was short and light-skinned. I had to fight every goddamn day. Shit, what are you talking about? I wasn't no Elder Barge Prince-ass nigga. Damn it, I just said it again. I'm gonna break that habit. But anyway, I wasn't that dude. I'm just regular light skin. But there's so many sisters that are dealing with these brothers, man. I think I covered most of the 3 topics tonight, man. I said I was gonna rock an hour. I made it that far. I appreciate y'all rocking with me, man. I hope I kept y'all entertained a little bit this Sunday evening. Get ready for this second game. I really want Denver to win, man, because I like Denver, man. I didn't realize how much I liked Denver until I watched that first game. Like them, they play as a team. I like them cats, man. But ultimately, told somebody yesterday, and then I'm gonna close out. I'm betting with my heart. I want my Lakers, which I think they are going to get in the finals. The way they play in Golden State right now, they figure some stuff out. And my Knicks. But the Knicks, boy, we got to – I just played 2K. I beat Miami with the Knicks. So we can do it, fellas. Y'all got to stay in the fucking fight. Tibbs need to play D-Rose. I stand on that. You need to have that 2 scoring guard backcourt. I need to see it, Tibbs. I need y'all to make that happen. But I'm betting with my heart for my Lakers and the Knicks to meet in the finals. But I know that's far-fetched because my Knicks play so sloppy. I really, truly, as a basketball head, the way things are being played right now, I think it's going to be a Lakers and Celtics matchup. I would love to see that. Look, these guys, Joker a beast, man. I tell you, I laugh every time I say it. He a more athletic, because he's not athletic. He's a more athletic Arvydas Sabonis. And I know Antonio laughing at my goddamn Knicks too, man. Fuck you. These guys says, please don't talk about the Knicks. Man, I'm loyal to the soil, bro. Been there since John starts. With the left hand over Mike. And yeah, Mike did jump. He on that shit. I don't want to hear that shit from y'all, man. Mike did jump. So the left hand over Mike and Horace. Man, I've been a fan. So I appreciate y'all rocking with me, man. I'm not going to keep on here. I'll be on here talking shit all day. I'm finna go finish this one out. Run over here, get up with Mind Games Uncut, smoke another one in celebration of the weekend, man. Close it out, and then get ready to hit it in the AM. I got some more shit lined up for y'all this week, too, man. We're going to have a good week on this one. Got something coming. Really appreciate y'all being in here. Salute Corey Joe. Salute Antonio. Salute everybody in the chat, man. Hold on. He said something about my Knicks. I got to wait a minute. New York Knicks ain't making it to the final. It'll be LA Boston. And NJ Jump. Thank you. Thank you. At least you got that, man. We're going to end it on that note. As always, brothers, you matter. You're not crazy. Make better choices. Peace.